If you're just getting signed on, welcome. Hey Risha, welcome. I'm just waiting a few minutes for everybody to get the notification that we're live and get caught up and signed in. And I'm just looking over the tarot cards that I just pulled as well. So go ahead and get signed on and make yourself comfortable. If you want to grab like a pen and a journal, in case you want to write anything down that comes to you. We will do a meditation tonight at the end of our circle. And I'm just looking at the tarot cards that I pulled, and we are going to wait a few more minutes. So if you're just signing on, we'll wait a few more minutes for everybody to get here. How is everybody doing tonight? How is the full supermoon treating you? I know that for me, I always feel the effects of the moon a couple of days before and after. And on Saturday, I was really feeling the moon. I was really feeling anxious. Sunday, I was feeling better. And today, I'm feeling really good. Yesterday, I felt really good. But I know that sometimes this can be a time of heightened energy and heightened prana, and especially during a time when we have a lot of heightened energy due to the state of events in the world right now. So feel free to put in the chat how you're feeling today or if anything is coming up. And I think we'll wait just maybe 1 or 2 more minutes and then we will get started. Okay. Risha says, yesterday was really weird, today a little better. Yeah, I know a lot of people were feeling things yesterday. I don't know if any of you follow the Schumann resonance, or if you know what the Schumann resonance is, but it's kind of the vibrational frequency of our planet, and we had a really big spike the past couple of days, and that can make us feel really weird. Sometimes we get headaches or migraines from that. Heather just said, I always get headache migraines right before a full moon. Yeah, because the energy is so heightened. Heather, I'm going to assume you're probably an empath. You're a little bit more sensitive to people's energy. When we're in this full moon energy, we have heightened prana. What it basically means is we're pulled up towards the moon. We're less grounded on Earth. Gravity is weaker on the Earth. And in the yogic world, we believe that there's an energy called prana, which is the life force energy, but it's also the energy at the top of your inhale. Like you have to take a breath in to live, right? And then the apana energy, the exhale, the bottom of the breath, that sinking in, that grounding, that's the other energy. And right now we're tipped towards the prana side. And so if you think about, for example, if you hyperventilate, so if you take longer inhales than you do exhales. So you kind of, if you kept going, you'd eventually get lightheaded or you would get dizzy. And that's an example of imbalanced or excessive prana. And that's what we're experiencing right now with the full moon. This full moon is also a full super moon, which means that the moon is closer than normal, which means that it's stronger. But this is actually the strongest, energetically, the strongest full moon of the whole year of 2020. We are in the beginning of the astrological calendar. So if you caught my new moon transmission a couple of weeks ago, we're in Aries season right now, and the Aries lunar cycle is the first lunar cycle of the astrological calendar, and so this is the first full moon of the astrological calendar, and it can be a really powerful and potent one. So Heather, I'm not surprised that you're probably getting a headache around this time as well, and I don't get a lot of headaches, but I definitely had a headache like all day Saturday. I was really feeling that shift that we were making into the full moon. So let's just take a few minutes to talk about the full moon, and then we'll talk about the full moon in Libra, which is the sign that the moon is in today. We'll do a little bit of breath work and meditation, and I've also pulled a tarot. I've pulled 3 tarot cards tonight to just kind of guide us through these next 2 weeks as we wrap up this lunar cycle. And I pulled these cards before we signed on, and one of the other things I asked the universe was just any guidance that we have right now in this time of real uncertainty, a time of a lot of panic and chaos in the world, and if there's just any guidance there. So we've got some messages through the cards that I will relay to you as well. Let's talk about the full moon. So we've already talked about this heightened prana energy. Full moons are a time when we feel a little crazy. I mean, most people might not know anything about the moon, but they know that it makes you feel a little crazy. If you work in the medical field, you know maybe that ER visits are higher around a full moon than any other time. So we're going to send our hearts and our love out to all of the emergency rooms tonight and the medical professionals that are working there, because they're already, I'm sure, overwhelmed with what's going on right now. But this is a time when you can injure more because you're just not paying attention to what you're doing. You're not paying attention to your body and the space around you because you're in your mind or you're in your head. And this is a time where you can be over emotional, so you can feel really unstable, and you are less grounded to the earth. So you're resonating with what's physically going on with you, and it's showing up in your feelings and in your energy. Full moons don't have to be a bad thing. They don't have to be a negative thing. They can actually really serve you because it is a time of heightened energy. It's, it's a good time to get things done. So if you have like tasks you want to tackle, if you have a to-do list, if you have projects, you might feel really inspired or energetic right now, and you might feel motivated to do those things. I know I got a lot done today. I worked on my website. I got all my content out for my 2 programs that are running right now. I cleaned like the whole house. I worked on the front yard. I got a lot done today. It's a time when you also do feel more social. So you feel a little bit more outgoing, and you feel more social. And it's a time that you typically like to, mingle with friends. And because we're not able to do that right now because of the social distancing, this might also lead to you feeling a little emotionally unstable or a little bit anxious. I did a video about this, I think last week, and I talked about how we have strength in numbers, and our social circles, our friends, the people outside of our household, they provide a lot of support for us because they really hold space for us to let go. Our social circle holds space for us to release and kind of vent and get things out, talk about all the things that we can't talk about at home. So right now you have a lack of that. You have a lack of that support circle outside of the home, and you might not be able to vent or let go of things as usual. And this can lead to more tension as well. So I bring this up because full moons are a time of letting go. It's energetically the time when the moon is the most illuminated by the sun's light, and this represents full fire. And fire is very powerful. Fire is a powerful tool for emotional alchemy, for physical alchemy. If you think about controlled burns and what they do for our environment, or you think about wildfires when they get out of control, fire can be very, very powerful. And so when the moon is fully illuminated with the sun's fire or the sun's light or the sun's energy, you can harness that fire and use it for yourself, and you can use it to burn away burn away everything that no longer serves. New moons, 2 weeks ago we were in the new moon. New moons are a time of new beginnings. The moon is starting its new lunar cycle, its new 29-ish day journey, 30-day journey. But at the full moon, we're halfway through that journey. So we're 2 weeks in from the new moon, and we're 2 weeks out from the next lunar cycle, the next new moon. So this is a pause. This is a time to slow down and to let everything be illuminated in front of us, to shine before us, and ask ourselves, what do we need to let go of? What is no longer serving us? And then we can imagine that fire of the moon burning that stuff away. Now, yes, this is all in your mind. This is all emotional work. But you could physically make this happen by taking everything that you're ready to cleanse yourself of, because full moons are very cleansing, and you can write it all down. So you can write down, all of the things that are no longer serving you, that are standing in your way of pure joy and bliss and manifesting your dreams. Write it all down and then physically set it on fire, burn it away, and you can see those things burning away, turning to ash. They will no longer be what they were before, and that can help to represent the energetic happenings of what's going on right now with the full moon. So basically what you need to know is that a full moon is a time of letting go, a time of cleansing, and a time of release. It's a time to check in with our goals and our intentions and let go of the things that are standing in our way. Now, the moon for ages has been, worshipped, has been honored, has been brought into its own illumination, and the moon has its own magic and power as well. So this is a really wonderful time to set out all of your crystals and your gemstones to charge, anything else that you want to cleanse or charge. So if you use like herbs or plants or oils, I really like to let all my plants from inside bathe in the moonlight during a full moon and get some of that heightened prana, that life force energy. One of my other favorite things to do is to set out water underneath the full moon and let that water charge, and then drink that water during the day, the next day, just to absorb whatever wisdom that the moon has to honor. You could do the same thing with fruit. You could set out some fruit and let that soak in the moonlight, and then eat that fruit the next day to receive that heightened prana, that life force energy, to help enhance your health and your vitality. And again, take in any wisdom or knowledge that would be brought into that fruit underneath its moon bath. You don't have to set things physically outside. So if it's cloudy or if it's raining, you can still if it's cloudy, you can still access the moon's magic, the moon's energy, even if it's outside. If it's raining, you can have things inside. If it's cold, you can have things inside. You just want to put things in front of a window and leave that window nice and open so the moonlight can stream in and all of your stuff can help bathe in that moonlight. So those are some of the things that you can do during a full moon to connect to this lunar energy and better align with your intentions. Today, I'm going to go ahead and set up our full moon circle, and then we'll talk a little bit more about this particular full moon that's going on tonight or right now. So anytime I do a full moon circle, I like to bring in all of the elements. So I start with the element of earth, and my element for earth today is this rose quartz, and it's a rough rose quartz, but it is cut roughly into the shape of a heart. We are in the pink moon, and I'll talk about that later, but this rose quartz can help to represent that pink moon energy right now. And then also to bring in the element of earth, I have this brand new smudging stick, and this is white sage, and this particular smudging stick represents the energy of love, and I'm bringing that in right now with this full pink moon as well, because pink is the color of the heart chakra. So now that I have these two earth elements, I'm going to bring in the element of fire. There it is. I'm going to bring in the element of fire. I'm going to set this smudge stick, this sage stick, on fire, and that brings in that element of fire. And then as this starts to burn and transform, this earth element turns into smoke that you can start to see here. It smells really nice. This is a brand new smudging stick since this is the first full moon of the calendar. And the sage is very cleansing. Smudging is actually very cleansing. It helps reduce the bacteria in the air. This has been scientifically proven now. You can help cleanse your spaces with sage, and that's really important right now, that we have our spaces clean and sanitary to support our health. And then this sage also helps to cleanse any energy. So any stagnant energy, any negative energy, anything that might interrupt our transmission, anything that might distract us during this time, we're just going to help set up a little energetic boundary and rid ourselves of that, cleanse ourselves of that. So I'm sending this out to you in the ether as well. And the ether is another element. It's the fifth element, and it is the one that withstands space and time. So even though you may not be tuning in live, if you're here later catching the replay, the transmission is just as powerful. The messages are just as potent, and the smoke is just as powerful to cleanse the energy. Okay, so I'm going to let that go ahead and just continue to burn out, leaving our element of smoke or wind. And then I have the element of water with this rose oil. So again, bringing in the element of rose to represent this pink full moon, aligning with the rose quartz that I have. And then I'm just going to rub that on my pulse points, really connecting in to this root chakra and what blooms from the root chakra, this beautiful rose oil. Okay, so now we're going to seal this with 3 deep breaths. Let's take an inhale, open mouth exhale, really detoxifying breath. Let's do that again. Deep breath in, open mouth exhale, cleansing breath, and one final deep breath in and out, maybe with some noise. And we'll mesh with that noise of the world. So it's a beautiful day here in southeast Iowa. It is also very hot, and I'm not going to turn on my AC yet. So we have the windows open, and that was a loud vehicle that went by. Hopefully that frowny face was an accident. I just saw frowny face. I'm going to grab a drink, and then we're going to get started. Okay, so our circle is sealed now. Our transmission is ready. And we're going to talk about this full moon in Libra. So Libra, I'm a Libra. That's what my tattoo is about. Libras are all about balance and all about justice and fairness and truth. And we are certainly in a time where a lot of that seems a little muddled right now. There's a lot of uncertainty. There's a lot of, there's a lack of justice. There's a lack of fairness going on right now. Our civil liberties are being infringed on. And, things are just really weird. We're not in our normal flow. However, we're aligned with what's going on right now. There's a big awakening that's happening. Again, we're at the beginning of the astrological calendar, and we're at the beginning of 2020 in this new age. And as we shift into this new age, we are moving into an awakening of golden light. And with that awakening comes the darkness. And that's kind of what we're in right now. Now, bringing in the Libra energy when it comes to the feelings of balance. We are halfway through our lunar cycle. So we are in a time to really assess where we might feel misaligned or out of balance. Again, letting go of the things that no longer serve you. And this is a very interesting time because our usual flow has been disrupted and is out of balance. So we don't have our typical work-home balance or work-life balance, or if you're in a relationship and you don't live with your partner, this might be a weird time if you're separate from your partner, or if you're distancing. This might be a weird time if you're separating from your friends. So it's a time when we're a little out of balance with all of the things that we're used to, and due to the full moon really shining light on balance, this is a great time to assess how do we move forward from here. I mean, really, we're at a golden opportunity to have this reset. And we can ask ourselves, wow, now that we're home a lot more, and now that our, maybe our work commitment is less, or it's different, or maybe we've adjusted, how have things been out of balance? I certainly have seen, now that I'm home more, where I've been out of balance when it comes to my marriage, when it comes to my work, and how much time I put into my work versus my home life, the balance of being a mom and being there for my child, but also like having my own time to mother and nurture myself. A lot of that has been shaken up right now. But it's a good thing. It's a good thing because we get an opportunity to look at it all and say, okay, I had this pause. I have this wonderful pause of uncertainty where I can realign and I can look at everything that's going on right now and ask myself, when I come out of this and when things move forward again, how can I stay better balanced? And that's what this moon is all about. That's what the full moon in Libra is all about. So Libras are ruled by the planet Mercury. And I want to talk about that because Mercury represents the planet of communication and expression. So we are also being illuminated in these aspects, and we're being asked, where do we feel out of balance in these aspects? So when it comes to expression, now that you're home more and you don't have to be out in the world less and you can really be your true comfortable self, have you been expressing that to the world, or have you been out of balance there? It's a good time to really look at that. When it comes to communication, are you communicating your needs right now, or have you been communicating your needs? Are you expressing the things that you need to feel stable right now? Are you expressing what you need to feel emotionally balanced right now? This is what is being illuminated with this Libra full moon. So this is a time to really ask yourself, how are you feeling? Do you feel anxious? If you feel anxious or panicky or heightened, or even depressed or sad, or any frequency that doesn't really align with positivity, that doesn't align with your higher self, if you're feeling any of that, ask yourself, what is that root cause? And can you eliminate that? Are you feeling this way because you're out of balance? And what is tipping the scales in one way or the other? How do you add to the other side or eliminate the heaviness to find that harmony again, find the scales that Libra holds? This also has to do with the fairness and the justice aspect, because it is not fair to you to not feel balanced. It is not just to you if you are not feeling aligned right now. Now, with the state of uncertainty in the world, there is going to be a bit of an anxiousness or a panic or something that we may experience time to time. But as a whole, it is not fair to you to feel out of alignment all the time right now. So ask yourself, where can you make change? What can you let go of? What cords can you cut? What things can you burn away so that you no longer feel this, and that you feel more peaceful, and that you feel more calm? I'm going to take a drink. I hope that this makes sense so far. There's a lot of noise outside right now, that heightened prana. Okay, so this is the message that's coming through right now. You are being asked to look at everything that is making you feel out of balance. Are you imbalanced in your work-home life when you're stuck at home? Are you imbalanced with your social life versus your family life? Are you imbalanced with your health and your wellness versus the times when you kind of let it go and you treat yourself and you don't worry about those things as much? Where are you excessive? And where are you depleted? And right now it should be very clear because the light of the full moon is really shining down on all of this right now. So the things that are popping up in your head right now, the things that you feel in your heart instantly, those things that are churning in your gut right now, those are the things. Those are the things that are tipping the scales in an imbalanced way. And those are the things that you need to modify, control, burn, and alchemize, or you need to completely burn and let go of. Okay. I want to lead you in a super simple breathwork practice tonight. And this will be your meditation. We'll lead into a little bit of meditation. I'm not going to guide you too long tonight. I really want you to just turn within after this transmission, let things come to you, but we're going to do some breath work first. So I'd like you to find a comfortable seat. Wherever you are, just find a comfortable seat and make sure that you're sitting nice and tall, that your shoulders are aligned over your hips, that your head is aligned like right with your shoulders, that your jaw is relaxed, your shoulders are relaxed, even your hips and your legs start to soften. You can tuck the tailbone just a little bit. It engages the low belly gently, and that helps you to stay soft and grounded. And then can you just go ahead and close your eyes for just a moment? I want you to take a deep breath in. Open mouth exhale. Let's do it again. Nice cleansing, detoxifying breath. And just one more. Okay, go ahead and blink your eyes open. We're going to move into this breath work. This is one of my favorite exercises to do when I am feeling anxious. So if you're ever feeling anxious, if you're feeling panicky, this is a practice that you can do to help yourself feel more stable and to feel more grounded. You're going to use your hands as a guide. You're going to start by bringing your hands down into your low belly, down into your hip spaces. You can even kind of line your fingers into your hip creases or your groin and just kind of hold your low belly here. Hold the energetic womb space, whether you're a woman or a man, just hold this sacral area. And your hands are a target for those inhales to move into. So it's a target for new prana. As you inhale, you're going to feel your hands move. You're going to feel your low belly expand. And as you exhale, you're going to feel those hands sink back down to where they originally started, or maybe a little bit farther beyond. You're feeling your body soften on the exhales. Now, nothing is forced here. It's a very natural breath. So as you inhale, you're just gently moving to the hands. As you exhale, you're gently releasing. Your hands might not move much, and that is completely normal. We're actually going to move the hands into a variety of places on your body tonight. But if it doesn't, if a certain place on your body when you breathe into it, if it doesn't move your hands, that's okay. Just kind of feel the breath energetically going there. Feel the breath opening up the space. So we're going to start by bringing these hands down to the low belly, down into your hip creases. You're going to take a deep breath in. As you exhale, soften from those hands. And we're going to do that just a couple more times. Breathe in and out. Feeling your breath move into your hands at your energetic womb space, your sacral chakra, down into your root chakra as well, down into the legs. And then when you're ready, start to slide your hands to the tops of your hips or the lower part of your waist. And as you inhale, can you feel the breath move into your waist or into your hands? As you exhale, can you feel the waist and the legs soften? And just keep going. Take a deep breath in and deep breath out. Maybe one or two more, feeling your hips expand and soften. And then you're going to bring your hands to your low back. Same concept. Keep your shoulders soft. Inhale, breathe into your low back. Breathe into your hands. On the exhale, soften. And you'll keep doing this. Just maybe 2 to 4 breaths here. And then go ahead and move your hands up a little higher. Move them to your mid-back and begin to breathe into your hands. Feel your mid-back expand. Maybe you feel your lungs or your diaphragm moving. Softening on your exhale. It's my little guy downstairs. Take one more breath. And then move your hands to the sides of your rib cage. Really feel your ribs flaring out as you breathe in. And feel your ribs relax as you breathe out. You're going to do that 2 or 3 more times. And then move your hands kind of underneath your breastbone or right to the lower part of your rib cage, maybe into that floating rib area, and inhale. Feel your chest and your ribs expand as you exhale. Feel everything soften. Maybe feel your belly expand. Remember, nothing's forced. Your hands are just a guide. Maybe 1 or 2 more. And then move your hands up higher to your chest and inhale. Really open up your airways. Breathe across your heart space and then soften on your exhales. Continue. We're going to do one more here and then move it to the tops of your shoulders. Inhale, feel your shoulders rise. And exhale, they fall. More relaxed. And again, inhale, rise and fall. Maybe 1 or 2 more times. And then bring your hands to your upper back or your neck and inhale, breathing here. Exhale, feeling these spaces soften. Just a few more rounds. And then finally, bring it to the back of your neck or the base of your skull. Breathe into the base of your skull. Exhale, relax the base of your skull. Relax your neck. And then finally, bring your hands to the top of your head and just gently inhale. Feel yourself getting a little taller. And exhale, feel yourself relaxing. Do that maybe 2 or 3 more times. And go ahead and relax. Now just close your eyes here and breathe into whatever you're feeling as a result of this practice. Just allow yourself some time to observe what comes up, any thoughts, any emotions, any feelings. Maybe just notice overall how you feel. Notice how it feels to breathe. Breathing into this noise. Go ahead and blink your eyes open. So this is one of my favorite types of breath work, and really it's a meditation. It's a mindful meditation because you are bringing your hands mindfully to different places in your body and you're strategically breathing into those places or into your hands. Your mind is not a multitasker, and when you are feeling overwhelmed, the hands and the breath are a great way to guide you back in. You're thinking about your touch, you're thinking about breathing into your hands, and you don't really think about anything else. You're also bringing loving touch to yourself. Your hands are an extension of your heart chakra. So your heart chakra is right across the chest. It's the shoulders, the arms. Think about when you give somebody a hug, a nice embrace. That represents that heart chakra energy being transferred. So when you bring your hands onto your body, you are nurturing yourself. You are loving yourself. You are giving yourself loving touch. And we all want loving touch when we're feeling heightened and anxious. You, as a child, my child, speaking of, who's downstairs with his dad right now, he wants to be hugged. He wants to be embraced when he's feeling overwhelmed and upset. He can't process things, but he knows he feels comforted when he's hugged by somebody. And that represents that hugging that we've had from the original womb space, that original place of security and safety and comfort. So we want to be hugged. We want to be nurtured. We want to be lovingly touched when we're not feeling good, or when we're feeling down, or when we're feeling anxious. Now, we probably have those feelings going on right now because it's a full moon, it's a super moon, and it's also a time of uncertainty. I've said that word uncertainty a lot, but it is a time of heightened energy. And we are socially distancing, and we are not getting the loving touch, okay? We're not getting hugs. We're not getting the high fives. We're not getting handshakes even. We're not doing a lot of business. We're not getting the touch that we normally receive, and that can make us feel misaligned. It can make us feel imbalanced. So the lesson here is to understand that you have the power to give yourself this loving touch. So you can practice this breath work, and you can bring your hands to your body and know that you are really connecting your heart energy to yourself, and you're gently, lovingly guiding yourself to breathe deeper and take care of your body. Now, another thing about this touch, when we touch different places on the body, it does what's the word I'm trying to say? Can't think of the word I'm trying to say. It causes a nervous system response. So it causes a response in your nerve endings when you are touching yourself. So if you've ever heard of tapping or EFT, emotional freedom technique, this is a technique where you tap on different places in your body to help yourself feel calm, and it's a way to process emotion. And so when we bring our hands to our body, it mimics that same sensation. It brings our mind inward. We're not so focused on the outer world. We calm our bodies, and it helps us provide a nervous system response that promotes more relaxation or feelings of harmony. When you bring both hands onto your body, you are using your left and your right brain at the same time. You are literally integrating harmony into your mind, and this carries over into your body, into your emotions as well. So this is a super useful technique for all of those reasons, and it also teaches you to breathe into your whole body. You reach the full potential of your breath. When you are breathing at your fullest potential, when you are breathing at your deepest, you are breathing in a state of harmony, a state of feeling peace and calm. So Heather, I'm not sure if you're still on the transmission, but you mentioned the headaches earlier. I would be really interested to see if this helps your headache. So if you're feeling a headache, next time try this anti-anxiety breath work and see if this helps to calm that tension. This is another great technique anytime that you are out in the world and you're feeling a little heightened. So if you've got to run and get your groceries right now, or you have to do errands, or maybe you're filing your taxes, or you're just handling financial stuff and you're out and about, maybe when you come back to your car, you just take a moment and you give yourself that little breath work and that technique and that loving touch. And that can help ground you back in when you're not at home. It just helps you to feel more centered. Okay, loves, I hope this serves you. I am just going to cover our tarot, the tarot cards that I pulled for this full moon, and then we will wrap up our circle. I'm going to close the door so it's not as noisy, and then I'll go over these cards. I fully trust that my husband can handle my tired child. He's just tired. He needs to go to sleep, and he's going to do that guaranteed. And he's anxious because he's an Aries baby and his birthday's Saturday and we're in a super moon. So I have no doubt, if there's any mamas out there with littles, with babies, power to you tonight, because your baby will probably be up Sorry to put that juju on you, but it's true. Kids as well. Okay, so let's talk about the tarot and the 3 cards that I pulled. So I always pull these cards before the transmission, so I just have that universal guidance. The messages that I wanted to relay, I asked the universe to provide us some guidance around this current state of events with COVID-19 and Corona, and this like uncertainty with illness and this uncertainty with the state of the world and the economy. I also asked for guidance with this lunar cycle in the next 2 weeks, what we need to let go of, what we need to focus on with this full moon in Libra, and how we move forward before we prepare for our next lunar cycle in Taurus, which is a very grounding, earthing, rooting in foundational sign. So what do we need to focus on up until then? And this is what came through. So the first thing I want to point out is that I have a couple of colors that are coming through. I have 2 yellow cards and I have a pink card. A pink card representing the pink moon. So the pink moon is not actually pink outside. It means that the pink phlox or pink moss is starting to bloom. Every full moon has a Native American name, and this one was named after the plants that start to bloom during this time of spring, including the pink phlox, and so that's why it's called the pink moon. This is also a time when the salmon are migrating, and that pink salmon can be a representation of the pink moon as well. Now, pink is also a representation of the heart chakra, and so it's interesting that a pink card came through with our pink moon. That's really showing us to focus on the heart right now. The other 2 cards I pulled, like I said, were yellow, and yellow is the representation of the sun, and we are in this full fiery Aries sun energy with our lunar cycle, and all of that energy is pouring down onto the supermoon right now. So I'm not surprised that due to our moon being in full fire that we have a lot of this yellow coming through. Now the cards themselves, the first card I pulled is the 10 of Wands. There it is, the 10 of Wands. And interestingly, it looks like a crown, doesn't it? Looks like a crown. So if you don't know, corona is another word for crown. If you translate like the origin of it, or in other languages, it kind of means crown. And that's what I pulled right now. The other interesting thing about this card is a lot of times when this card gets pulled, readers prefer to just do an entirely different reading and reshuffle the deck, because it represents just pure chaos. Pure chaos. And that's what we're going on. That's what we're in right now. It's what's going on. We're in pure chaos. There's a lot of uncertainty in the world. There's a lot of panic. And we're certainly feeling it with this crown virus that is going through right now. Now, the other thing that this can represent is that, hey, this panic is real, and it's making itself known, and it's making itself aware to us because we need to make change. It's time to stop and pause and analyze and figure out where we go from here, making change. By the way, green is the other color of the heart chakra. It's green and pink. So it's interesting that we have both of those here right now. Okay, the other one is the 8 of Swords. The 8 of Swords. And everything's pointing down here and pointing down into the earth, into that red root energy. There is a bit of a grounding aspect to this card, but it's more in the sense that things are a little shaky right now. Things are less grounded. So even though you are at home more, so you're literally grounded in more, you might actually feel less stable or less grounded right now due to the things that we talked about, the social distancing and the inability to have that support circle that you normally have, or a safe space to let go and vent. You might just be stir crazy and really have a craving for nature. So these are the things that can be happening right now with the 8 of Swords. But one thing that this shows us is there's a big, the 8 of Swords represents a change in health. a change in health. And we're definitely in that right now. And I think that there's a change in health on the positive side of things if we really focus on our root chakra. So if we really focus on stability, in the spiritual world, in the metaphysical side of things, there's a lot floating around right now. And I've put out these messages as well that it's so important to not be stressed right now. The more stressed we are, the more we worry, the more we make up stories in our head that don't exist, and we give into that anxiety, the more suppressed our immune system becomes. So we need to stay calm. We need to practice this anti-anxiety breath work. We need to find ourselves in a state of peace and harmony in order to promote our change in health. So if you're worried about your immunity, if you're worried about your health, if you are an essential worker right now and you're exposed to the public more, or if you're working on the front line of things, make sure that you are really, focusing downward on your own root chakra, on your stability, on your ability to ground and feel good. This can also represent food. So your root chakra is your actual food that you take in. And I know this is a time that when we panic, we don't eat as healthy. We tend to eat our emotions, or we don't eat one way or another. You might have a bunch of quarantine snacks that you're going through right now. This card is reminding you maybe to just take a little look at your nutrition and your health and make sure that you're eating things to boost your immunity. So getting a lot of vitamin C, right? And make sure that you're eating a lot of things to support being healthy, so you can go on to that other side of the horizon with your health. Also during a full moon, I don't know if you know this, but full moons are a time when parasites and yeast are more active. So if you tend to battle candida overgrowth, you want to really be mindful of what you're consuming during the time of the full moon. And then same thing if you're worried about having a parasite or some sort of imbalance there, you want to make sure that you are watching like your sugar intake. And it's a really good time to up your probiotics. So eating like fermented foods or drinking kombucha. You could set some kombucha out underneath the full moon. Maybe if it's already at room temperature or sealed, don't have an open container out, not in a refrigerated type temperature. But otherwise, you can eat fermented foods, and that will really help your gut health, which helps with your immunity as well. Okay, and then the Two of Pentacles came through. Here it is, Two of Pentacles. So that two representing the balance, representing Libra and the scales. And it's funny because the actual two, that little symbol there, that represents Gemini. It looks like the Gemini sign. And I talked about that, being ruled by Mercury. Libras are ruled by Mercury, but so are Geminis. Geminis are also ruled by Mercury. So there's a bit of this influence to focus on communication and expression right now through this card. This Libra energy showing the balance that we need to focus on. Two, harmony, left and right brain, really focusing on keeping ourselves stable right now. What's tipping the scales? How do you bring it back? And the other thing about the Two of Pentacles is it represents kind of chaos in the workplace. And we're certainly experiencing that right now. Your work has probably been interrupted. I do these transmissions a lot of times from home, but I'm working so much more from home right now. A lot of people doing these Zoom conferencing or online meetings for their business. And we're all having to reinvent the wheel as far as our careers and our professional life. And this is a time when that might feel really debilitating. It might cause a lot of stress, and you might even feel like, am I even going to be able to continue to do this anymore? Well, the Two of Pentacles wants you to know that although work is chaotic, it is workable. Everything is workable. That actually reminds me of a quote by Marie Forleo. I don't know if you're familiar with Marie Forleo, but she does B School. And no, I'm not an affiliate with B School or a part of B School, but she wrote a book called Everything is Figure Outable. And I think that that's kind of what this Two of Pentacles is reminding us, that everything is workable, everything is figure outable. We just have to slow down. We have to figure out how to reassess the balance and move on from there. I know that I've certainly had to figure out, okay, like these are my times I'm blocking off at home to work on editing my videos and my yoga and making sure that my website gets put up right and make sure that my programs are taken care of for the people that are in my online programs. And during those times, I'm arranging time for my little guy to go to grandma's, so I am not disrupted with that mom work balance or mom healer balance. So this is a time to really focus on these things, and these are the messages that are coming through. So I'll just go over it real quick. We have the 10 of Wands. Lots of chaos, pure chaos. We've got that beautiful crown and the pointing upward of the heart energy, reminding us to just slow down, reassess, become aware of the current state of events. The 8 of Swords reminds us that there's a change in health coming, but we have to ground in, we have to stabilize, we have to focus on routine and